Well, good. It's good afternoon, but it's good evening for you, Henry Fitzhugh. Welcome to Yellow Shelf.
Hi, thanks for having me on. I really
Oh,
appreciate
it's
it.
an absolute pleasure, Henry. Henry, you are the host of Decoding Social Life podcast coming out of the US, and you've got a co-host, Sumir. He's not with us today. But Henry, what do we need to know about your show? What can you tell us?
Well, I'm really excited about it. I'm excited to share with you guys today. It's a cool comedy show that has health and fitness and like some society stuff, some culture stuff, and we also talk relationships, and it's really a cool kind of twist on health and fitness and comedy.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's coming along great. I'm so proud of like the reach we've been able to gain recently. We have listeners all over the world, and
Yeah.
it's kind of overwhelming. Like being the executive producer of this, just trying to get everything done,
Yeah.
trying to get recordings done on time, talking with
Yeah.
brands. It's kind of really taken off. So um, it's just really exciting, and I love the show. I think it's a great show.
Yeah. And Henry, look, I was one of those random listeners from the Southern Hemisphere who reached out to you. Look, it's been described as a self-improvement podcast, but you're absolutely right. There's a bit of everything. There's banter between yourself and your co-host. Tell
Correct.
us what inspired you guys. Tell us about your background. Tell us what we need to know about you, Henry.
Well, about me, I'm a recent college graduate. I'm 22. I'm a young guy. I work in production. I'm an actor and a model,
Yeah.
and I'm also a producer of this podcast. And I've also done other projects as well. So recently, I've kind of gone into this production world and learned a lot more about like what goes into making a really good production. And that's what I think has made our podcast a lot better. My co-host is also an actor, so he has on-set experience as well. So we kind of turned it into a more of a, like a serious thing. We had more pre-production
Yeah.
and just a lot more thought out ideas, targeted ideas as well. Like we did an episode about like wifey material, which is like a kind of a concept that goes around, but like nobody has a podcast about it. Nobody's
Yeah.
talking about it, and it's really funny. Um, and yeah, I encourage you guys to listen to that one. It immediately went into our top five as soon as I posted it,
Yeah.
and which was really cool to see. I was really happy about that.
Yeah, and lots of fun, lots of laugh. I actually got my husband to listen to that one, so that was quite fun too.
No
Um,
way.
I did.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, and Henry, so tell us, the journey from actor, college grad.
Mhm.
What inspired you to actually start the show? Was it just two mates having a chat? Like what was that journey
Not
like?
really. No, it actually started as more of like a YouTube channel thing, and it was we would go around our local communities and just go up to people and say, "Hey, we're doing this project. Can we just do a quick interview?" And we had like a whole list of questions that we had written down. Like the first one was, "What is a red flag?" Which is another kind of these like Gen Z targeted ideas that's all over Instagram and everything. And we kind of liked it. We thought it was funny, so we started making our own videos, and it was really cool. We would just go up to these random people and we would just say, "Hey, we would do these questions and we would get it on video and obviously edit it and everything to make it
Yeah.
look more engaging and more funny." Um, and that just grew over time into involved into the podcast because that actually got too hard. We were just like, we can't do this anymore. Like it's just it was really difficult because a lot of people would say no. But if you just keep asking, people will say yes. And I think like if people are trying to do content or listening to this, like just keep asking, don't be afraid to ask people. And if it's okay if somebody says no, keep asking. Like that's my advice for sure.
Yeah, and look, that's definitely what, I live by here at Yellow Shelf. People ask me, and I think it's definitely be brave and ask. So I love that.
Mhm.
Henry, what's the best way to connect with you? If I'm watching from anywhere in the world, where are you on socials? Where do we go to find you and the podcast?
Well, I was gonna say the two main are Instagram and Spotify, but we're everywhere. If you want to check us out on YouTube or anywhere, if you just type in Safari, Decoding Social Life Podcast, Amazon, whatever you want, we're a multi-platform podcast. So that's been great for us as well for our growth strategy.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can check it out anywhere. It's
Yeah,
all
and
over the
look,
place.
I'll put that in the show notes to make it super
Thank you.
easy. So, Henry, where to from here? What's the planning like in 2025 for the podcast?
Oh,
Anything you
good
can
question.
spill? Anything we need to know to keep listening?
Um, yeah, I can spill some stuff. I think we're looking to improve the content and take it to the next level. We're also looking to expand our team and maybe work with some female podcasters and because we have mainly a male audience, so it'd be really cool if we could get going with some other female podcasters, and we could bring our audiences together and do social
Yeah.
events and stuff like that. That's kind of where I see it going
Yeah.
later in the future. But obviously we have a lot of steps to take before we get there. We're just gonna keep creating. Episodes come out on Fridays.
Yes.
And we're gonna keep creating on Instagram as well to kind of
Yes.
spread the podcast and reach new people through
Yeah.
short form videos. So we have a lot of short form videos as well. If you like, health stuff, there's a lot on fast food, nutrition, some more serious stuff on the Instagram as well. If you're interested in that. But yeah,
Yeah. And look, as we both acknowledged before we hit record here, being a creator, being in this space, you show up, you bring your energy, and you guys certainly
Mhm.
do that. I think, it does take work, but the payoff
Mhm.
is a really enjoyable podcast that you guys deliver. So, Henry,
Thank you
thanks
so
so much
much.
for joining us. Maybe
Of
we can
course.
check in with you in a year and see how things are going. That'd be great.
I'd love to. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Thank you so much for having me on.
Pleasure. Have a great evening for you, Henry.
Okay. Bye
Cheers.
bye. Thank you. You too.